Before we tried to swing our thoughts by AWOL without a cause, um, I just want to note as a disclaimer, I don't speak for any organizations or entities. This whole idea of the ridgeline, um, basically that might just be my own bias and obsession. That the idea that okay, so it doesn't really make much. It might not make much sense from a SAR perspective, because if you are aware of the last known point, okay, um, basically, potential last known points. Uh, Basically, if you take this area as a potential last known point, there it probably makes, okay. This might make a whole lot more sense than some oddball theory, or even bias that, okay, well, what if he climbed up the ridge and headed down whatsoever unknown ravines? If he heads up the ridge and if he went west, the big if, he could have headed down any of these ravines. So in terms of, probability, or even the best, uh, basically, the best methodology, it might not even make sense. This could be very low probability. First, why would he climb a ridge? Okay, is there any evidence he climbed the ridge? Okay, if his last known point is down below, this this probably makes absolutely zero sense. Just a heads up. All right, now that we're indoors, we can pull up Google Earth here. Um, Basically, our earlier hubris or mania has given way to a more sobering perspective, much more humble perspective. Um, there is no room for egos, hubris, or mania. That's unproductive. Okay, so basically, I think uh, if there is an organized search and rescue team, we're talking about Aiden Clune, basically, in terms of, basically, it would be, by SAR, it would be a recovery, because uh, he's been gone since 2022. So again, not a rescue. Okay. So I think the most ideal staging area, if an organized SAR team has access to this section as the staging area, let's pan out a little bit. Okay, from this, if, oh, hold on a second, I just fouled up. Okay, the red, what I'm trying to say is that, in my opinion, if a SAR team has access to this area as their staging area, I believe it would be much more easier to fan out with 50 men, maybe split into, who knows, maybe 2 or 3 teams, different teams. They would, if they have access to this section, they would be able to take these ravines perhaps in a single day. And what I think is the closer no, that's not going up. I think, but basically you get the idea. So I think that would be the easiest if there's an organized SAR team, because, okay, because you're not doing double climb. Okay, you're going up. Basically, one team would just go up, or you can search, or basically the bottoms and tops of the ravines. And I think the bottoms of the ravines are more of a candidate area as opposed to the tops. I'll explain that next. But I think a closer in staging area, it's common sense. Basically, you're doing one climb up and one climb down. You're as opposed from the east side, where this is just inefficient. And yeah, I'm not gonna. Basically, I'm doing things the hard way. I'm doing things I'm definitely doing things the hard way, where, say, if you clamber up, okay, you're climbing up, then to search a ravine, you're losing elevation, then you have to double climb before you can drop down from the ridge again. So the next part I want to get to, the next part, this is really for professionals such as AWOL without a cause, I believe. I believe on his description he, yeah, if I get it incorrect, I apologize in advance. But I think you were former SAR, former Colorado Search and Rescue, I believe. Um, my thought is that, okay, the drone, those police drones, search and rescue drones, there is no way they're gonna miss a barren ridge. Absolutely zero chance. Tops of the ravines, if especially drones with thermal imaging, less obscured, they're gonna, okay, so it sounds macabre, but they're going to see the heat of an animal or a person. The drone is going to catch this. Okay, I think where the reason. Okay, basically two things here. I'm targeting certain ravines because if you look at dense areas, where you have dense foliage, even along the sides, uh, I target the bottoms of the ravines because I think that's the point of least resistance, where someone is most likely to be funneled into, and the dense vegetation ravines where basically there is tree canopy cover, where basically whether an animal or a person is possibly, in my opinion, more likely to be obscured, more likely to be missed by the drone. Uh, the drone, I think, would be more likely to miss anything straight at the bottom, the narrow section of the ravine. The drone is going to see anything here, in my opinion. Well, once you get to here, these sections here, so look at this dense tree canopy cover. This is extremely hard to really search, to grid search. Um, so I think these sections are extremely easy to miss by a drone. Um, this section, a drone's gonna see that. Yeah, I would like to get AWOL's opinion if I can. Just a personal reflection. I feel like all our endeavors, whether on this or other cases, basically as a private person, have been all for nothing. Um, I feel that redemption lays in doing something productive. And whatever hubris, whatever ego, whatever mania has given way to sobering realization of reality. There's no way I can find Aiden. There's no way. There's absolute, repeat, there is absolutely no way I can find Aiden. This is why, again, I think, okay, an organized SAR team, if they were able to find in my opinion, the closest in to the target, I'm not saying that's their target areas. I just feel like whatever target areas that they define, if they can determine what is the most promising staging areas, then I feel like only an organized SAR team is going to be able to find Aiden. What I'm going to do is search the bottoms of ravines, but it's really hit or miss. There's no way. Okay. There is no room for ego, mania, or hubris. None of this is searchable by one man. This is if any one person thinks they're gonna find a missing person in an area such as this, that is absolute, true, 100% insanity. I've just sobered up in the mind here.